Our last speaker for the evening is Hansarupa Prabhu. He was initiated in... he doesn't want to. There's some Swami thing going on here. You can't see in the back. Hansarupa Prabhu was initiated in 1974. He's the temple president of ISKCON Brooklyn. And the only thing I'll say about him is that I asked him if he would speak, and he said, I have to get back to the Bhakti Center and serve. And I said, well, you'll be the next one. He said, okay. So then about halfway through Mahesh Prabhu's thing, he said, we should let him speak. I have to go back. I want to serve. So I encouraged him to stay, and he stayed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So first I want to thank all the devotees for coming. Very special occasion. To see the room filled like this. And, I wasn't fortunate to be there in the early days as Jayadvaita Maharaj and Rabindra Sup and others. We see the happy faces on the picture standing in front of the matchless gifts. And Srila Prabhupada often referred to himself this as the good days, the good old days, very fondly. And whenever I remember all the sacrifices made by the devotees, it comes to mind what one of our god brothers, Pancharatna, told me one time when we were attending a conference near Pune, and we were discussing just things. We had joined. He was my first vice president in Henry Street, where I joined, and we were talking about, and we hadn't. Neither of us had been part of the New York project for many, many years by that time. And I was I was serving in Mayapur, and he was doing some project. And he told, offhand, he said that, related the story how in Mayapur, in 1975, Madhavis Maharaj was just about to, Prabhupada had appointed him the temple president of the 55th Street Temple. So this was there were a lot of changes going on in that time after moving from Henry Street over to 340 West 55th Street. So, and because of that, so much activities being done, preparing things, Pancharatna, who was the vice president, had gone early to Mayapur, thinking to get Prabhupada's association and then come back to New York. But Prabhupada, as he often does, when the two of them were there, the discussion was that Madhavis was going to become the president and Pancharatna was going to stay in India. So that was a surprise to Pancharatna. He hadn't expected that. He'd been on Henry Street for many years. And Madhavis was feeling also a little awkward that Srila Prabhupada, we understand that, Mayapur is your most important project. And Prabhupada looked and said, no. He said, New York is our most important project. And so, of course, both of them were caught off guard. Pancharatna was wondering why Srila Prabhupada was keeping him in Mayapur if New York was his most important project. And of course, Madhavis Maharaj was feeling very encouraged that I'm going to be where the most important project is. So, but Prabhupada was fond of changing things up. There was, and he knew exactly who to put where, and we saw this many times. Harikesh Maharaj, who also was with us on Henry Street, had related the incident when Srila Prabhupada was ordering him to go to Poland at the time. He had been serving. There had been some confusion about leadership in Henry Street. There was a lot of, these are stories which someone will write about someday. But so Harikesh went to travel with Srila Prabhupada to take his association and to kind of get out of that situation. And he was very happy to be there. And if we listen to the classes in Vrindavan in 1975, oftentimes you'll hear Harikesh Maharaj chanting the shloka. So at one point, and some of the other devotees who were in the room may even know this, Prabhupada was telling him on several occasions, I want you to go to Poland. And no one had been preaching in the Iron Curtain countries at this time, 1975. There wasn't any thought about it. But Prabhupada obviously was thinking about it. So Harikesh Maharaj refused. Told Prabhupada, I don't want to go to Poland. I don't speak Polish. I don't, what? So Prabhupada just kind of let it go for that moment. And then the next day, again it came up. He said, I want you to go and preach in Poland. But this time he wasn't taking no for an answer. Although Harikesh offered no, Prabhupada got quite disturbed at this insubordination, seeming insubordination. We can see it in different ways at this point. And he said, this is my order. And he immediately instructed his secretary, who I don't remember what it was, purchase him a ticket and take him to the airport and put him on the plane. But the purport is that he went to Poland and he opened up the Iron Curtain countries, because he followed Srila Prabhupada's instructions, even though he didn't want to. So in this respect, I'm not sure if everyone has this, but oftentimes there are challenges that come your way in Krishna consciousness and you wonder what to do. But I can just suggest or recommend that in all circumstances, just follow Srila Prabhupada's order and you'll never have any difficulties. And I have to go back and serve. And we're welcome. Everyone can come. We're serving the feast at the 3W, the back of the temple room at the Bhakti Center. Very nice feast. The devotees are prepared, and I'm sure everyone will enjoy. And after, I guess, Pushpanjali is next, or Artik, what's up? So please come. If you can't stay, then come and take prasadam now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Hansarupa Prabhu.